And there was a split second in my mind, and I said to myself, "This is it. It's like I decide whether I want to get in or stay out. But when I get in, I'm not getting out." So I swam into the jellyfish, and I'm actually proud of a scar I've got. Like, I show everyone wherever I go, look, I got a scar for my channel swim.
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू रविवार विचार। हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे आपको जितनी भी वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, जितनी भी वुमेन अचीवर्स हैं, लड़कियां जिन्होंने अपनी लाइफ में बहुत अच्छा अचीवमेंट किया है, उन सबकी स्टोरीज और ऐसी कहानियां पढ़ने को मिलती हैं जिनसे आपको हर वक्त मोटिवेशन मिलता रहे। आज भी हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे हम ऐसी ही एक लड़की का इंटरव्यू लेके आए हैं। इंटरव्यू शुरू करने से पहले मैं आपको बता देती हूँ कि वो लड़की सिर्फ 16 साल की है, लेकिन उसको देख के और उसके अचीवमेंट को देख के आपको ये बिल्कुल नहीं लगेगा कि इसकी एज इतनी छोटी है। अक्सर हमारे माइंड में हम एक चीज सोच लेते हैं, ये हमारे दिमाग में बहुत स्टार्टिंग से डाल दिया गया है कि एज के हिसाब से सारी चीजें करनी चाहिए। बट अगर हम इस लड़की को देखें तो आपको ये समझ में आएगा कि एज इज लिटरली जस्ट अ नंबर। 16 साल की छोटी सी उम्र में इस लड़की ने कुछ ऐसा अचीव किया है जिसके बारे में सुन के आप सबको बेहद खुशी होने वाली है। तो बिना जरा सा भी समय गवाए हम स्टार्ट करते हैं हमारा इंटरव्यू विद प्रिशा टापरे। Hello Prisha, this is Risika from Ravivar Vichar. I am amazed and pleased to talk to you. Please just tell how are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, that is great, Prisha. Okay, so my first question to you is a very basic question that maybe every single person that you're talking to is asking. What motivated you to just swim across the English Channel in such a young age?
Well, I first decided I wanted to swim it when I was 12 years old, but I think I really just wanted to inspire myself to do something bigger, and I think I wanted to prove to myself that, like, what's stopping me? I feel like when you think about something big, you always assume to yourself, like, oh no, I won't be able to do that. But then, like, I proved to myself that from that training and the dedication, I was actually able to do that. Something that once I said is impossible to do. So it just shows how far you can go.
Great. Okay, so Prisha, the next question is, everyone needs to be physically and mentally prepared for such a great thing to conquer. So what were your ways to prepare yourself physically and mentally?
So I started training 4 years ago, and through the 4 years, my distance got larger and larger. So I remember my first session at the lake, I did a 1k, and I went from 1k to 38k, which is crazy. So my first year, I was just getting into it. I was taking it easy. I was just getting introduced to the lake and stuff. And my coach just tested it out to see if I got cold or not, because that's one of the main things. You shouldn't get cold. And then year 2, which was 2021. So I did my first season in Dover Harbour that I'm going down to the sea. I did longer training sessions, 2-hour training sessions in the sea, and then we also did this competition called Lake Windermere in England, and it's I think 15 or 17 kilometers, and I did that at 13 years old, and I got first place. And then I did the next year. I came back and I did Windermere. The same competition. I also did the other competition in the Dover Harbour, and I beat both of those times by an hour. I broke my own record by an hour. And then I also did this competition called two-way Ullswater. So Ullswater is a lake, and it's 12 kilometers one way, and I went back, so it was two-way. And I did this last year, so it was my longest swim, and it took me 7 hours. And before that, the longest swim had been like 6 hours. So I was really nervous, but I did it. And the hard thing was it was fresh water, so there was no salt from the sea salt providing buoyancy or heat. So that means I could cramp up easily. So I was cramping up in my fingers, my arms, and my legs. So anytime I stopped to kick breaststroke, I cramped up. So every time I brought my arm over, I'd cramp up. So it was a really hard swim, but I learned a lot about myself. And last year we also did a relay channel swim to warm me up into it. So we broke 8 records doing a relay channel swim, and we came out at 9 hours 40. And then this year, for the channel swim, we had to like do 3-hour qualifiers in 15 degrees, which was also a tough challenge. But this year, to qualify for the channel, you have to do a 6-hour swim in 15-degree water, which is so we did quite a few 6-hour swims, and then we did 7-hour swims, and then we did one 6-hour swim on Saturday, go home, sleep, and then the next day, Sunday, we did a 7-hour swim. So we call that a back-to-back swim. And then one of my last big swims was a 10-hour swim to prepare me for my channel. So we did numerous 6, numerous 7s, and then one 10-hour swim, which that really like made me confident, because when we have a watch that measures my distance, and it was really close to the distance of the channel depending on how the tide took us. So I was feeling really confident because I felt like I could keep swimming after it. But it was really good. Like, I loved my training for it.
Yeah, that's great. You know, training plays a really important role.
All this 4 years of training has really showed me, like, when people say it's about the journey, not the destination, now I understand that I miss my training. I miss not waking up in the morning.
What were the most challenging moments in your whole journey that you swam across the English Channel? It's a huge thing that you have done. So what were the most challenging moments in the whole journey, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, so for my training, I think the most challenging part was obviously, like, for me, I'm not a morning person, so getting up in the morning was hard for me. But we only started the harder swims around 2022, 2023. And then we had a massive group of people that would come, because we had the relay swim that I would train with. But then this year, obviously we didn't have to do the relay swim, so I suddenly had less people to swim with. So in the morning it would just be me and my coach's son Philippe, who swims with me like no matter what. He always used to swim with me. But obviously a group of 6 to a group of 2 kind of, it just changed my training aspect slightly. So that was a struggle, because it just wasn't like is normal. It wasn't normal to me. But I faced that, and for the channel swim I'd be swimming by myself anyways, so I knew it was going to happen. And then another challenge was swimming in the dark in training sessions. My coach used to make us go down to the lake at 4 a.m. so we could have like 2 hours in pitch black darkness, and I was scared. Like, I'm scared. I'm not scared in the dark, but I'm scared of the lake in the dark, because I just can't do it. But then my coach, he always like has a way to calm me down, so I managed to get past it. And he's so sweet. He put like balloons on his kayak just to help everyone train better. And then on to the day of the swim, we started at 2 a.m. so obviously we did like 4 hours in the dark, and I'm not confident in the dark, but I got over that. And the first 2 hours were choppy, so starting the swim in choppy and darkness, not my ideal conditions, but it ended up being really well, because after 2 hours of bad weather, it was amazing. It was still, it was perfect, it was clear. And during the last 2 hours it started to get choppy again, but I swam into a few things. I swam into the jellyfish, and I'm actually proud of a scar I've got. Like, I show everyone wherever I go, look, I got a scar for my channel swim. And then there's this little bit called the separation zone, and it's like a central reservation. It's where all the rubbish from the boats just collects. So all the rubbish goes in this one line, and when I was swimming through it, I swam into like bits of polystyrene, loads and loads of jellyfish. And then when you get closer to the French side, this is how I knew I was getting closer to France. The water warms up, and there are loads of jellyfish. Okay. So I think in the span of like 1 hour I got stung 5 times.
Oh, okay.
Prisha, I know that you're 16 years old girl, and I also know that you go to school. So how did you manage your school, your personal life, this record-breaking swim, and everything in such a great manner?
So I did my GCSEs, which is like a really big exam in England. It's from normal school to college. So I had to revise, and when I was doing my exams, I was training for my English channel because they were within 1 or 2 months. So it was obviously like a really busy time for me. But I managed, like, I planned out my week and planned out my day. So in the morning I'd go training, in the evening just studies. Or then in the morning I'd wake up extra early. I'd wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m, do revision for my exams, and then just go swimming in the evening. So I'd alternate like that. And instead of like watching TV or going out with my friends on my Saturday Sundays, I'd use my training as my free time, because the lake to me is like, it's like equivalent to going out with my friends or watching TV, because it relaxes me more than like some people find their sport like hard and difficult, like I do as well, but I find it more peaceful. So after I get in, I feel less stressed and I feel happier, rather than on the tired side, which I will feel tired, but mentally I feel a lot better. And I think mentally, when you're better, your body gets better, because one thing I found out during my swim is that your mind controls your body doesn't control your mind. Because I used to think to myself, am I cold? Then I'd get a cold, but when I didn't think about it, I'd warm up. So I learned a lot of things about myself.
Yeah. When you are too much focused, your brain and your body kind of comes in a sync, and it works accordingly.
So my next question is out of curiosity. I want to know, what were your feelings when you reached the last point of the channel? When you reached that point, what were your genuine feelings? How were you feeling at that time?
I couldn't tell you, because it felt like a dream. It honestly, it felt like a dream. When I reached the rocks, I felt like I was still swimming, because I was just in a trance for 11 hours, and then I got out, and it still feels like a dream to me. I like remember myself on the rocks looking out of the boat, but I don't know how I was feeling. I just feel like I was asleep the whole time.
Okay.
Prisha, my next question is, how did your family and your friends react when you told them that you want to swim the whole English channel? What were their thoughts or their reaction at the first time when you told this?
My parents were extremely supportive. My mum, she was an athlete when she was younger, but she had to stop when she got to an older age. So I think she saw that and she wanted me to carry it on. So my mum's nothing but supportive, and so my entire family. They were always the ones to wake me up in the morning and drive me to swimming, whether I liked it or not. They'd be the ones to inspire me, and if I was ever nervous, they'd be the ones to help me, give me a pep talk. And my coach Jeremy introduced me to such a loving community of swimmers and open water. The community is just amazing. Like, even though there's a mix of cultures, genders, types of people, it's a massive mix. But every single one of them is so sweet, and they're all inspiring. They all have a little achievement that is just, everyone's so different, and then everyone comes together. It's just such a nice place to be.
Okay.
But everyone there's no everyone's so sweet. They'll push you. They'll be you can't do this, you can't do that. They'll be like, you can't do that, do a bigger swim. Like, they'll push you to double the extent of what you were doing before. But it's just a loving community.
Prisha, what was your support team like? What do you have for your support? Because we all know that it is actually a dangerous and can I call it a creepy journey through that whole English channel. It is somewhere, it is too much cold and everything. What was your support team like? And I know that you had a boat through which everyone was tracking your journey. So who were on that boat, and what was your support team like?
So on the boat we had the 3 pilots which control the boat, and then an observer who's part of the 3 pilots. So he checks to make sure I'm not touching the boat, I'm okay, no hypothermia. Otherwise it's his call to pull me out of the swim. Then I had my coach, and my coach Jeremy Irvine. He was checking. He counted my stroke rates every minute. He'd count my stroke rate, and then he'd just keep counting them to tell me if it's dropped. Then he'd tell me about my technique. We made up hand signs. So this means widen your stroke. So he just made sure to keep a lookout, and then he also kept an eye out for any signs of hypothermia. He also decided when to feed me. So feeds were the only time I could stop. So I get fed every 2 hours and 1 hour after that. So he decided when I needed a hot drink, when I needed a painkiller. And then my dad was on the boat. He was just there for moral support, and he helped a lot with preparing the feeds. And I remember my mum, because she wasn't allowed on the boat, she made posters and gave to everyone on the boat to stick up. So if I was ever struggling, they'd stick up these posters saying, these little quotes that I've picked up and we say as a family, and I just see them on the boat, and it just reminded me of my mum. And then I also had my coach's son, Philippe Irvine, on the boat, because they're my friends, and then Megan Reeder and Paul Meyer. So Paul helps with the club, and he also helps as my coach and swims with me. He's an amazing guy. And then Megan Reeder and Megan Reeder and Philippe are my age, and so you're allowed a support swimmer. So both of them got in with me at separate points of the swim for a few minutes just to allow me support. But yeah, it was a really nice support team, and if I do anything bigger, I want the same people on there.
To achieve such great things, you need that strong support. That is really important.
Prisha, as I told you before, Ravivar Vichar is a platform on which we try to motivate the girls and the women of India, basically rural women, and the age group of 25 I'll say 18 to 35, that this age group. We try to motivate the girls of this age group, and through providing them stories like yours. So what do you want to say to those girls who are trying to achieve something as great as you've done, or in their whole life they want to do something but didn't get that motivation, or are not able to find that particular kick through which they can achieve such great heights?
If I was looking back at 12-year-old me who wanted to do something, I think I'd say just the only thing stopping you is you, not anyone else. Just because you have to pretend that it's only you in the world. Imagine you're alone. There's nothing stopping you apart from yourself. Mentally, it's all there. It's 60% mental, 40% physical. So if you convince your mind that you're going to do it, then you are going to do it. And you have to think that the people around you, that they're gonna keep discouraging you from anything you're doing just because they don't want to see you achieve. But if you want to see you achieve, then you have to do it. It's all about you. You are your biggest enemy. That's what I say to myself if I ever face mental block.
Great.
Prisha, in India, girls normally face a bit of a criticism while trying to do something great in their lives, and majorly the person who gives them that criticism is their family and the people who are close to that girl. So what do you want to say to those girls who are continuously facing this kind of criticism or that demotivation, and if you faced it, how do you manage all these things?
Well, I think there are three sides to this. The first side is what people think normal swimwear is. Normal swimwear isn't just swimming costumes, bikinis. I used to wear the long swimming costumes just because I didn't feel comfortable in England to wear swimming costumes. Then it's also the Indian society, which we can't change, and then it's you, because if you're stuck in between those two, then it's just you. You're the third thing. It's your decision, but nothing's gonna stop you. I mean, when I go to India, I don't know what to wear either, because even I'm scared. But I feel like when I say it's only you that's gonna get you're your biggest enemy, what's everyone else gonna do when they see you achieve such big things. Say you want to swim the English Channel. When they see you swim the English Channel, then they have nothing left to say. But if you're gonna do it, make sure that there's no turning back, because like if someone's hating on you, then you have to take the words out of their mouth. If they're saying you can't do it, prove them wrong, do it. Then what else? Then they can't say anything. Then they look like the stupid ones. But I think just keep, like, if you're gonna do it, just keep going, because you might as well keep going, because turning back's it's just worse for everything.
Okay, so I need to know this thing. You've achieved something really great, and there's more in future. I know that you gonna do great in your life ahead, but I want to know, what are your future plans or future goals? Do you think Olympics 2028 is one of them?
Everyone's telling me what, everyone's asking me. I actually had a conversation with my coach deciding what it was, but all I know right now is that I've got like a crave, an addiction to this sport. Like, it's definitely like, once you start you can't stop. I feel like I'm literally addicted to this lake, and now I want to do something even bigger than the channel. I want to do something double than the channel. And then my coach was telling me, yeah, but after this, if you do double the channel, then you're going to want to do double that and double that. So let's take it. So now I just realised that there's no stopping. Before I thought, okay, channel swim, over, back to my normal life. I couldn't be more wrong. Channel swim was just the start. Like, there's no going back now. It's changed my life.
That's great.
तो ये थी हमारी बातचीत प्रिशा के साथ, जिन्होंने अभी रिसेंटली 16 साल की छोटी सी उम्र में इंग्लिश चैनल जैसे बड़े अचीवमेंट को 11 घंटे कंटिन्यूसली स्विम करके कवर किया है। अगर आप चाहते हैं कि हम इस तरीके की इंटरव्यूज आपके सामने और लाते रहें, तो इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, क्योंकि हम लोग कंटिन्यूसली रविवार विचार पे इस तरीके के इंटरव्यूज, इस तरीके के वीडियोज अपलोड करते रहते हैं। इस वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए। इस वीडियो में इससे रिलेटेड आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस हो उन्हें कमेंट सेक्शन में हमें बताइए। इस वीडियो को लोगों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि वो भी इंस्पायर हो। हमारे सारे सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे आप हमें फॉलो कर सकते हैं, उसकी लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगी। तब तक के लिए नमस्ते।